Blood on snow. That's what Samuel Thornton saw first. A child's handprints red against white trailing up to his gate. Then the girl herself. 8 years old, maybe less. Dragging herself forward on raw knees, legs twisted behind her like God had forgotten to finish making them. She grabbed the gatepost, pulled herself up, looked straight at him with eyes that had stopped expecting anything good. "Please, mister. My legs don't work. Doc says I'm cursed. Mama can't pay. Everyone else already said no." Her voice didn't shake. That's what broke him. "Are you gonna turn me away too?" Before we continue, Hope's incredible journey, subscribe to my channel and stay until the very end. Drop a comment telling me which city you're watching from. I want to see how far this story travels across the world. Now let's go back to that frozen gate in Montana. January 1879. The winter of 1879 came to Montana Territory like a killing frost. Samuel Thornton hadn't left his ranch in 4 months, hadn't spoken more than 10 words to anyone except his sister and his foreman. That suited him fine. Words cost something he'd stopped being willing to pay. He was mending a bridle in the barn when he heard Eliza shouting from the house, "Sam, get out here now." He dropped the leather and ran. Eliza stood on the porch pointing toward the front gate. Her face had gone white. "There's a child out there. She's crawling." Sam's boots hit frozen ground. He was running before his mind caught up. The wind cut through his coat like it wasn't there. Snow stung his eyes, blurred his vision. But he saw her clear enough. A little girl, hands bloody from the snow crust. Dress torn at the knees where she'd worn through the fabric to skin. Legs dragging behind her, twisted at angles that made his stomach turn. She'd made it to the gate. She clung to the bottom rail with fingers that had gone past red into something closer to gray. Sam dropped to his knees in front of her. Hey, can you hear me?" She looked up. Blue eyes, pale as winter sky before a storm. "You Mr. Thornton?" "Yeah." "They said you was mean." Her teeth chattered. "Said you don't care about nobody or nothing. Said you'd probably shoot me for trespassing." "Who said that?" "Everybody." She swallowed. "But mean is better than scared, I figured. Scared people shut doors. Mean people at least look you in the eye first." Sam's chest tightened. "How far did you come?" 3 miles, maybe more. Hard to tell when you're counting by how many times you fall down." 3 miles. In this storm. On your hands and knees." "Yes, sir." She said it matter of fact. Like crawling through a blizzard was just something you did when you had no other choice. "My braces broke last week. Mama couldn't afford to fix them. Doc Marsh said he wouldn't see me no more anyway. Said our family carries bad luck like a sickness, and he couldn't risk it spreading." Behind Sam, Eliza's sharp voice cut through the wind. "Stop talking and get her inside. She's half frozen." Sam reached for the girl, then stopped. "What's your name?" "Hope." Something flickered in those pale eyes, almost a smile. "Mama said she named me that because I was the only thing she had left worth keeping." Sam lifted her. She weighed nothing. Bones and will and not much else. She didn't cry. Didn't make a sound even though he felt her whole body tense with pain. Her arms came around his neck thin and cold, holding on like he was the last solid thing in a world that kept trying to drop her. He carried her toward the house. The room Sam brought her to hadn't been opened in 6 years. Thomas's room. The bed still made with Martha's quilt. The book still on the shelf. The model horse Thomas had been carving the week he got sick half finished, sitting on the windowsill where he'd left it. Sam laid the girl on the bed. His hands were shaking. He told himself it was the cold. "Eliza, hot water, clean rags, the salve from the cabinet." "Already getting it." Eliza pushed past him, arms full of supplies. "Go start a fire in here. This room's been cold too long." Sam built the fire. His hands remembered the motions, even though his mind was somewhere else. Somewhere 6 years gone. Behind him, Eliza worked on the girl's wounds. Cleaning, bandaging. making soft sounds of comfort that Sam hadn't heard her use since Thomas died. "What's your mama's name, child?" Eliza asked. Clara Maddox. She does washing at the hotel in town." "She know you're here?" "No, ma'am." Hope's voice was steady. "She was working. She's always working. Sunrise to past dark every day trying to pay off what we owe. I didn't want to make her choose between coming to find me and keeping her job, so I didn't tell her." Sam turned from the fire. "You walked 3 miles through a blizzard so your mama wouldn't have to choose." "Crawled, sir. Couldn't walk. Haven't walked proper in 2 years." "How old are you?" 8. Be 9 in March if I make it." The words hit Sam like a fist to the chest. If I make it. 8 years old, and she was already thinking about whether she'd see another birthday. Eliza caught his eye. Her face said everything her mouth didn't. She jerked her head toward the door. He followed her out. In the hallway, Eliza kept her voice low. "Her legs, Sam. Look at them. That's not natural progression." "What do you mean?" "I mean someone treated her wrong. That muscle atrophy, those contractures, she should have been doing movement therapy from the start. Instead, someone told her to keep still. Immobilized the limbs until the damage set permanent." Eliza's jaw tightened. "I've seen it before. Doctors who don't know better or don't care enough to learn. They lock children in braces and call it treatment while the muscles waste away." Sam felt cold that had nothing to do with winter. "Marsh." "Who else?" "He's the only doctor in 50 miles. Eliza grabbed his arm. "Sam, this is what happened to Thomas. The same damn thing. I told you then to let me treat him. You sent him to Marsh instead because Marsh had the degree and I was just—" "I remember." "Do you— because that boy in there—" She stopped, corrected herself. "That girl in there has the same look Thomas had, the same wasted legs, the same wrong treatment. And she's still alive, Sam. There's still time." Sam stared at the closed door. Behind it, an 8-year-old girl who'd crawled through a blizzard because nobody else would help her, who'd chosen the meanest man in the territory because mean was better than scared, who'd already made peace with maybe not living to see 9. And behind her, 6 years of ghosts. Thomas asking where Papa was. Thomas crying in the night. Thomas going still and cold while Sam was 800 miles away doing work that didn't matter, not knowing his son was dying. "What does she need?" Sam's voice came out rough. "New braces, custom fitted, not the trash Marsh probably gave her. Movement therapy starting as soon as her wounds heal, heat treatments, months of work." Eliza paused. "And her mother. She needs her mother. Storm won't break until morning. Then you ride at first light." Eliza's eyes held his. "You hear me, Sam? First light. That woman is sitting in town right now, not knowing where her daughter is, probably going out of her mind with worry. You bring her here. And if Marsh finds out, if Foster, let them find out." Eliza's voice went hard. "You've been hiding on this ranch for 6 years, Sam, letting the world rot while you nursed your guilt like it was something precious. Maybe it's time to stop hiding." She went back into the room. Sam stood in the hallway alone with the ghosts. The girl woke twice in the night. The first time she called out for her mama. Eliza soothed her back to sleep with a voice Sam hadn't heard her use in years. Gentle, patient. The voice she'd used with Thomas when the fever dreams came. The second time Sam was there. He'd been sitting in the hallway unable to sleep when he heard her stirring. Eliza had finally dozed off in the chair by the bed. Sam eased open the door. Hope's eyes found him in the darkness. "Mr. Thornton." "Yeah." "This was your son's room, the one who died." Sam went still. "How'd you know that?" "The carvings on the bedpost, a boy's name, Thomas, and the date." She paused. 1873. "That's when he passed, isn't it?" "Yeah." "I'm sorry." "Don't be. Wasn't your fault." "Wasn't yours either." Hope's voice was quiet but certain. Mama blames herself for Papa dying. Says if she'd made him quit the mines, he'd still be alive. But that's not true. Bad things happen to good people sometimes. Doesn't mean someone has to be blamed. Sam's throat closed up. 8 years old. Wiser than he'd been at 53. Get some sleep, Hope. Yes, sir. She closed her eyes. Then, Mr. Thornton. Yeah. Thank you for not shutting the door. He couldn't answer. Just nodded in the darkness, knowing she couldn't see it, and stepped back into the hall. Dawn broke gray and bitter. Sam was saddled and ready before the sun cleared the ridge. His foreman, Jonas Murphy, met him at the barn door. Heard we got company? Jonas was 48, bald as a river stone, with a mustache that made him look meaner than he was. Former Texas Ranger. Former enemy in the war. Now the closest thing Sam had to a friend. Word travels fast. Eliza's got a loud voice when she's worried. Jonas handed Sam a rifle. You're going into town. The mother doesn't know where her daughter is. That's not all you're walking into. Jonas's eyes went serious. Hicks rode past twice yesterday. Deputy Hicks, him and 2 others. They were watching the house. Foster's men. Who else? Mayor owns half the town and wants to own the rest. The Maddox woman owes money all over Silver Creek. Foster's been buying up those debts. You know what that means. Sam checked his rifle. Loaded. Ready. Means he's planning to use them as leverage. Worse. Means he's planning to take everything she has, including the girl. Jonas stepped closer. County institutions, Sam. That's where children end up when their parents can't pay what Foster decides they owe. You want that little girl shipped off to some territory orphanage while her mama works herself to death trying to get her back. That's not going to happen. Then you better be ready for a fight, because Foster doesn't let go easy, and Marsh is his creature. Has been for years. Jonas paused. There's something else. Marsh has been telling people the Maddox family is cursed, spreading it around like gospel. Says the girl's sickness is contagious. Says anyone who helps them will catch the same bad luck. Sam felt his jaw tighten. And people believe it. People believe what's easier than thinking. Marsh gives them someone to blame, someone to shun, and they don't have to feel guilty about letting a widow and her crippled daughter starve. Jonas spat in the snow. Town's gone rotten, Sam. You know it. You've known it for years. You just didn't want to look. Sam mounted his horse. I'm looking now. Silver Creek sat in a valley between 2 ridges. One main street, 300 souls more or less. A church that preached charity on Sundays and practiced cruelty the other 6 days. Sam rode in slow. Let people see him. They saw. Faces appeared in windows. Men stopped talking on the boardwalk. A woman pulled her child inside and shut the door. The hotel stood at the end of the street. Sam tied his horse and went in. The lobby smelled like old smoke and older secrets. A clerk looked up from behind the desk, young, nervous, already reaching for something under the counter. Help you. Clara Maddox. She works the laundry. She's busy. She's about to be less busy. Sam walked toward the back door. Which way? Sir, you can't just... Sam kept walking. The laundry room was hot and close. Steam rose from copper tubs. The smell of lye soap burned his nostrils. A woman stood at the center tub, arms deep in gray water. Brown hair escaping from a knot at her neck. Shoulders that spoke of years carrying weight they were never meant to carry. She looked up when he entered. Her eyes were amber, sharp, suspicious, ready for bad news because bad news was all she knew anymore. Clara Maddox. She pulled her hands from the water, didn't dry them, just stood there dripping, chin raised. Who's asking? Samuel Thornton. Something flickered across her face. Fear, maybe. Or recognition. The rancher. The one who doesn't come to town. She stepped back, putting the tub between them. What do you want? Your daughter's at my ranch. The words hit her like a physical blow. Hope. Her voice cracked. My hope. What happened is she's alive. She's safe. She crawled 3 miles through the blizzard last night to reach my gate. My sister's looking after her now. Clara's hand went to the tub edge. Her knuckles went white. 3 miles in the storm. Her eyes filled. She didn't tell me. I was here working. I didn't know. Oh God, I should have been there. I should have. Mrs. Maddox. Sam kept his voice steady. Your girl is strong. Stronger than anyone I've ever met. She made it. She's warm and fed and being cared for. But she needs her mama now. Clara looked around the laundry room. At the piles of unwashed sheets. At the tubs of gray water. At everything that stood between her and her daughter. I can't leave. Mrs. Harrison expects this finished by noon. If I go, you'll lose your job. I'll lose everything. No. Sam met her eyes. You'll lose a job that's killing you by inches so your daughter can eat. That's not everything. That's not even close. Clara stared at him. Why do you care? You don't know us. We're nothing to you. Your daughter crawled 3 miles through a killing storm because she believed I might help her. She chose me. Out of everyone in this territory, she chose me. Sam's voice roughened. I don't know why, but I'm not going to prove her wrong. Silence. Steam rose between them. Clara untied her apron. Let it fall. I don't accept charity, Mr. Thornton. I pay my way. Didn't offer charity. And I don't trust easy. Men who help usually want something. I want your daughter to walk again. I want her to grow up and have a life and prove every person who turned her away that they were wrong. Sam paused. And I want to do one thing right before I die. That's all I want. Clara studied him for a long moment. Then she walked past him toward the door. Well, are we going or not? They rode double out of town. Clara behind Sam on his horse, her arms around his waist because there was no other way to stay mounted. She held herself stiff at first, rigid, like touching him was a concession she resented making. But as the miles passed and the cold bit deeper, she softened, leaned into his back for warmth, let herself rest maybe for the first time in years. They didn't talk much. What was there to say? 2 miles out of town, Sam spotted the riders. 3 of them, sitting their horses on a ridge to the east, watching. Clara felt him tense. What is it? Company. Don't turn around. She didn't turn. Smart woman. Who? Foster's men probably. Deputy Hicks in front. They following us. Not yet, just watching. Sam urged his horse faster. They want to know where you're going, who's helping you. And when they find out, then we deal with it. Clara was quiet for a moment. You know what you're getting into. Foster owns half this town. Marsh has everyone believing my family's cursed. If you help us, then I help you. They'll come after you too. Let them come. Her arms tightened around his waist, just slightly. Just enough for him to notice. You're either very brave or very stupid, Mr. Thornton. Probably both. She almost laughed. He felt it against his back. A small thing, but real. They rode on. Eliza met them at the gate. She's awake. Been asking for you every 5 minutes. Clara was off the horse before it stopped moving. She ran up the steps through the door down the hall. Sam heard her cry out, Hope, baby, I'm here. And then softer sounds. A mother holding her child. A child finally safe enough to cry. Eliza stepped down to where Sam stood. You did good. Did what needed doing. Same thing sometimes. She looked toward the house. That woman's got nothing, Sam. Less than nothing. Hotel probably already gave her job to someone else. And Foster. She shook her head. Jonas told me about the riders. They'll be back. I know. What are you going to do? Sam watched the house, listened to the sounds of reunion coming through the walls. Whatever I have to. Night came fast. Sam built up the fire in the main room while Clara sat with Hope in Thomas's bedroom. Eliza made soup from what they had: salt pork, dried beans, the last of the winter vegetables. Simple food. Filling. Around 8 o'clock, Clara emerged. She's sleeping again. Really sleeping this time. Not the pain sleep. She stood in the doorway, arms wrapped around herself. Your sister says her legs might heal. With proper treatment. With time. Eliza knows what she's talking about. She was an army nurse before. Seen things most doctors haven't. Why didn't she become a doctor herself? Wrong time, wrong place, wrong body. Sam poured 2 cups of coffee. Held one out to her. Medicine doesn't like women who know too much. Clara took the cup. Their fingers brushed. She didn't pull away. Mr. Thornton? Sam. Sam. She tested the name. I need to ask you something, and I need you to answer honest. All right. Why are you really doing this? And don't tell me about your son. I'm sorry he died, truly. But helping us won't bring him back. It won't fix whatever guilt you're carrying. So why? What do you actually want? Sam considered the question. You want the honest answer? That's what I asked for. I don't know. He met her eyes. I've been dead for 6 years, Mrs. Maddox. Going through the motions. Eating, sleeping, working, but not living. Not caring about anything. Then your daughter showed up at my gate, half frozen, barely able to move, and she looked at me like I was her last chance. He paused. Nobody's looked at me like that since Thomas. Like I mattered. Like I could make a difference. Clara was quiet. She sees something in you, she finally said. Hope does. She talked about you while you were gone. Said you had kind eyes. Said she could tell you were hurting, but you didn't let the hurt make you mean. She's smarter than me. She's smarter than most. Clara almost smiled. Gets it from her father. William could read people like books. Knew what they were thinking before they thought it. What happened to him? Mine collapse, 2 years ago. 47 men died that day. Company called it an accident. Said the supports failed. But everyone knew the truth. They'd been cutting corners for months. Skipping inspections. Ignoring warnings. Her voice hardened. Foster owned that mine. Still does. He paid off the families with one hand and bought up their debts with the other. Now half the widows in Silver Creek owe him money they'll never be able to pay. Sam felt something cold settle in his gut. And you're one of them. I owe $94. Property fees, water rights, a doctor's bill for treatment that made my daughter worse instead of better. Clara's jaw tightened. Foster's been buying up those debts, consolidating them. He sent a man around last month to tell me my total was due in full by February 1st. That's 3 weeks away. What happens if you can't pay? I lose everything. The shack we live in, what's left of William's tools, and hope. Her voice broke. There's a law. Says if a parent can't provide proper care, the county can intervene. Take the child. Put them in an institution until the parent proves they're fit. And Foster decides what proper care means. Foster decides everything in Silver Creek. Sam set down his coffee. Not anymore. Clara looked at him. You can't fight him. He owns the bank, the general store. Half the businesses on Main Street. He's got the deputy in his pocket, and the sheriff doesn't care what happens this far from the territorial capital. One rancher against all of that. I'm not just one rancher. Sam stood. I've got 3,000 acres, 800 head of cattle, water rights to the creek that feeds half the valley. I've got a sister who knows medicine better than Marsh ever will, and a foreman who used to be a Texas Ranger before he came north. He walked to the window, looked out at the darkness. And I've got something Foster doesn't have. Something he can't buy or threaten or take away. What's that? Sam turned back to face her. Nothing left to lose. Clara stared at him. You're serious. Dead serious. You'd really fight him for us, for a woman you just met and a child you didn't know existed until yesterday. I'd fight him for anyone Foster's trying to crush. You just happen to be the ones who showed up at my gate." Sam paused. "But yeah, for you. For Hope. I'd fight." Clara's eyes glistened. She blinked hard. "I don't know what to say." "Don't say anything. Just stay. Let Eliza help Hope. Let me handle Foster." He held out his hand. "Partners." Clara looked at his hand for a long moment. Then she took it. "Partners." The knock came at midnight. Sam was still awake, sitting by the fire, running through plans in his head. He had his rifle in his hands before the second knock finished. Eliza appeared in the hallway, wrapped in a shawl. "Stay with Clara and Hope," Sam said. "Don't come out." He crossed to the door, stood to the side. Old habits. "Who's there?" "Deputy Hicks, official business." Sam opened the door. Hicks stood on the porch badge, catching the light from inside. He was 35, soft around the middle, with the kind of face that smiled too easy and meant none of it. Behind him, two men Sam didn't recognize, big, armed. "Mr. Thornton." Hicks touched his hat brim. "Sorry for the late hour. Mayor Foster sent me." "Foster can go to hell, and so can you." "Now that's not friendly." Hicks's smile didn't waver. "We're just here to check on the welfare of a child. Clara Maddox's daughter. We have reason to believe she might be here." "What's your reason?" "Concerned citizens. They saw Mrs. Maddox leaving town with you earlier today. Given her family's situation, the mayor thought it best to make sure the child is being properly cared for." Sam's grip tightened on the rifle. "The child is being properly cared for. Better than she's been cared for in 2 years. Better than that butcher Marsh ever cared for her." Hicks's smile flickered. "Dr. Marsh is a respected member of our community." "Dr. Marsh is a fraud who cripples children and blames them for his failures. But you know that already, don't you? You know exactly what Marsh is, what Foster is. You just don't care because they pay you to look the other way." The two men behind Hicks shifted, hands moving toward weapons. Hicks held up a hand, stopping them. His smile was gone now. "Careful, Thornton. You're making accusations you can't take back." "I'm not making accusations. I'm stating facts. And here's another one. Clara Maddox and her daughter are under my protection. My roof, my land. My responsibility. You want to take them from here, you'll need more than a badge and 2 hired guns. We could come back with more. You could try." Silence. The fire crackled behind Sam. Wind moaned around the corners of the house. Hicks studied him, calculating. "The mayor won't like this. The mayor can choke on it. You've been hiding out here for 6 years, Thornton, minding your own business, living quiet. Why stick your neck out now for a washerwoman and her crippled daughter?" Sam stepped forward, close enough to smell the whiskey on Hicks's breath. "Because I spent 6 years hiding. 6 years letting men like you and Foster run this valley into the ground while I pretended it wasn't my problem. 6 years watching from the sidelines while good people suffered and bad people got rich." His voice dropped. "I'm done hiding. I'm done watching. And if Foster wants a fight, you tell him I'm ready. Tell him I've been ready for a long time. Tell him the next person who sets foot on my land without an invitation doesn't leave standing." Hicks held his gaze for a long moment. Then he stepped back. "This isn't over, Thornton." "No." Sam raised the rifle. "It isn't. Now get off my land." They left. 3 shadows disappearing into the darkness, the sound of hoofbeats fading into the winter night. Sam stood on the porch until he couldn't hear them anymore. Behind him, a floorboard creaked. Clara stood in the doorway. She'd heard everything. "They'll be back," she said. "Yes. With more men, legal papers, whatever it takes." "Probably." She moved to stand beside him, close enough that her shoulder almost touched his. "I'm not worth this, you know. All this trouble, all this risk. I'm just a washerwoman with bad luck and a sick daughter." Sam looked at her. You're a mother who's been fighting alone for 2 years. Who's worked herself to bone trying to keep her child alive in a town that wanted to throw you both away? Who raised a daughter brave enough to crawl through a blizzard looking for help?" He paused. "That's not just anything. That's everything." Clara's breath caught. "Sam, get some sleep, Clara. Tomorrow we start fighting back." She hesitated, then nodded, turned toward the house. At the door she stopped. "Sam." "Yeah? Thank you for not turning away." She went inside. Sam stayed on the porch, rifle in hand, watching the darkness. Somewhere out there, Foster was planning his next move. Marsh was probably telling anyone who'd listen that the Thornton ranch was harboring cursed folk. The whole town was choosing sides, probably without even knowing they were choosing. Let them choose. Sam had made his choice. Made it the moment a half-frozen child looked up at him and asked if he was going to turn her away. He wasn't. Whatever came next, whatever it cost, he wasn't turning away ever again. The wind picked up. Snow started falling again. Another storm rolling in from the mountains. Sam smiled. First real smile in 6 years. "Come and get me," he said to the darkness. "I'll be right here." The storm hit 3 hours after Hicks left. Sam didn't sleep. He sat by the front window with his rifle across his knees, watching the snow pile against the porch rails. Every shadow looked like a rider. Every gust of wind sounded like hoofbeats. Around 4 in the morning, a floorboard creaked behind him. "You should rest." Clara stood in the hallway wrapped in one of Eliza's old quilts. Her hair was loose around her shoulders. Dark circles under her eyes said she hadn't slept either. "Can't. They won't come back tonight. Not in this storm." "Probably not." Sam didn't move from the window. "But probably isn't good enough when it comes to your daughter." Clara crossed the room, sat down in the chair across from him. The firelight caught the amber in her eyes. "Tell me about your son." Sam's hands tightened on the rifle. "Why?" "Because I've been trying to figure you out since you showed up in that laundry room, and I can't. Men don't help strangers, not like this. Not without wanting something." She leaned forward. "So either you're lying about what you want, or there's something about Thomas that explains why you'd risk everything for a child you just met." Sam was quiet for a long moment. He was 14 when he died. Dark hair like his mother. Laughed easy. Rode a horse like he was born in the saddle. His voice roughened. He started having trouble with his legs about 6 months before the end. Pain first, then weakness. Marsh said it was growing pains, said to give it time. But it wasn't. No, it got worse. Marsh put him in braces, told him to keep still, said movement would make the damage permanent. Sam's jaw worked. I believed him. Why wouldn't I? He was the doctor. I was just a rancher who didn't know anything about medicine. What happened? Thomas got worse. Every week a little more of him disappeared. First the walking, then the standing, then... Sam stopped, started again. Eliza begged me to let her try different treatment. She'd been reading medical journals. Said the new research showed movement was the cure, not the problem. But I wouldn't listen. Marsh had the degree. Eliza was just a midwife. Clara's face softened. You trusted the wrong person. I trusted the easy answer, the one that didn't require me to think for myself. Sam finally looked at her. Thomas died while I was on a cattle drive. 800 miles away. I got a telegram 3 days after they buried him. Didn't even get to say goodbye. Sam, your daughter has the same thing Thomas had. The same symptoms. The same wrong treatment. The same doctor making the same mistakes. His voice hardened. But she's still alive. There's still time to fix what Marsh broke. And I'll be damned if I let Foster or Hicks or anyone else take that chance away from her. Clara reached across the space between them. Her hand found his on the rifle stock. I'm sorry. About Thomas. About everything. Don't be sorry. Be ready. Sam turned his hand over. held hers. Foster's going to come at us hard. He doesn't like losing, doesn't like being challenged. Whatever he throws at us, we face it together. Deal. Deal. They sat like that for a while, hands joined, fire crackling, storm raging outside. It wasn't romance, not yet. But it was something. A beginning, maybe. The first green shoot pushing through frozen ground. Around 5, Clara fell asleep in the chair. Sam covered her with the quilt and went back to watching the window. Dawn came slow and gray. The storm had buried the world in white. 2 feet of fresh snow, maybe more. The ranch looked like something from a dream. Beautiful and dangerous and completely isolated. Jonas appeared at the barn door around 7, stomping snow off his boots. Fences are holding, cattle made it through, but we lost a yearling in the north pasture, froze where it stood. Anything else? Riders came through around midnight, 3 of them. They circled the property but didn't come close. Storm probably drove them off. Hicks? Couldn't tell, but they'll be back once the snow clears. Jonas paused. Sam, we need to talk about what happens next. I know what happens next. Do you? Because Foster's got resources we don't have. Money, men, legal authority. Jonas's voice dropped. He's destroyed families before. The Hendersons, the Crawfords. Remember them? Good people who owed money they couldn't pay. Foster bought their debts, called them due, and when they couldn't pay, he took everything. Land, livestock, children. I remember. Then you know what we're up against. This isn't just about helping one woman and her daughter. This is about taking on the most powerful man in the territory. Sam looked toward the house. Through the window he could see Clara moving in the kitchen. Making breakfast probably. Trying to be useful. Trying to earn her keep, even though he'd told her she didn't need to. Jonas, you remember what you said to me last night about how I've been hiding for 6 years? I remember. You were right. I've been hiding. Pretending the world wasn't my problem. Watching Foster and Marsh destroy this town one family at a time and telling myself there was nothing I could do about it. Sam turned to face him. I'm done pretending. I'm done hiding. If Foster wants a fight, he's got one. Jonas studied him for a long moment. All right. Then we need information. Marsh has been cheating families for years, overcharging for treatments, providing bad care. If we can prove it, we can break his credibility. Without Marsh backing up his story about the Maddox family being cursed, Foster loses his excuse for going after them. How do we prove it? Records. Marsh keeps files on every patient he's ever treated. If we can get access to those files, we can show a pattern. Wrong treatments, unnecessary charges, maybe even deaths that could have been prevented. Those files are in his office, in town, behind a locked door. I know. Jonas almost smiled. Good thing I used to be a ranger. Locked doors don't stay locked forever. Sam shook his head. Too risky. If you get caught, Foster will use it against us. Say we're the criminals. Turn the whole town against us. Then we need another way. Someone who's seen those files. Someone who knows what Marsh has been doing. A voice came from behind them. I know someone. Clara stood in the barn doorway. She'd put on her coat and boots. Her face was pale but determined. There's a woman in town. Nora Whitfield. She runs the boarding house. Her daughter Molly got sick 2 years ago. Same symptoms as Hope. Same treatment from Marsh. Clara's voice hardened. Molly died last spring. Nora blamed herself for a long time, but lately she's been asking questions, wondering if Marsh could have done more. You think she'd help us? I think she'd burn down Marsh's office herself if someone gave her a match. Clara stepped closer. Nora's not the only one. There are other families, the Chens, the Prestons. All of them lost children or watched them suffer while Marsh did nothing. If we can bring them together, show them they're not alone, show them what Marsh really is. We build a case, Jonas finished. Witnesses, testimony. Enough people saying the same thing that even Foster can't silence them all. Sam felt something shift in his chest. Hope, maybe. The first real hope he'd felt in years. All right. Clara, can you get word to Nora? I can try, but I'll have to go into town. Nora doesn't trust strangers. She'll only talk to me in person. Too dangerous. Foster's got men watching the roads. Then I'll go the back way. Through the Miller Pass. It's longer, but no one uses it in winter. You know that route? Clara's chin came up. I know every back road within 30 miles of Silver Creek. Had to learn them when Hope got sick. Sometimes the only way to get her to a doctor in the next town was to avoid the main roads where people would see us and spread rumors. Sam exchanged a look with Jonas. She's got more spine than half the men in this territory, Jonas said. I know. Sam turned back to Clara. All right, but you don't go alone. Jonas rides with you, stays out of sight while you talk to Nora, but close enough to help if something goes wrong. I can take care of myself. I know you can, but Hope needs you alive, and I need you to come back. Sam paused. Please. Something flickered in Clara's eyes. Surprise, maybe, or something warmer. All right. Jonas rides with me. She went back to the house to check on Hope before leaving. Jonas watched her go. You're in trouble, Sam. What do you mean? I mean, you look at that woman like she hung the moon, and she looks at you like maybe you're worth saving. Jonas clapped him on the shoulder. Be careful. Falling for someone in the middle of a fight is a good way to get your heart broken. Or worse. I'm not falling for anyone. Sure you're not. Jonas headed for the tack room. I'll saddle the horses. Sam stood alone in the barn. He wasn't falling for Clara Maddox. He couldn't afford to. Not now. Not with everything that was coming. But as he watched her through the window bending down to kiss Hope's forehead before leaving, he felt something crack open in his chest. Something that had been frozen for 6 years was starting to thaw. And he wasn't sure if that was salvation or disaster. Maybe both. 2 hours later, Clara and Jonas rode out through the back of the property, taking the long route around the ridge to avoid being seen. Sam watched them go until they disappeared into the tree line. Then he went inside to check on Hope. She was sitting up in bed when he knocked on the door. Awake. Alert. Looking stronger than she had when she'd arrived, though that wasn't saying much. Mr. Thornton, how you feeling? Better. Miss Eliza gave me some tea. Said it would help with the pain. Hope shifted winced. Where's Mama? She went into town. Had to talk to someone important. About me. Sam crossed to the chair by her bed, sat down. About a lot of things. But yeah, partly about you. Hope was quiet for a moment, her small hands twisted in the blanket. Mr. Thornton, can I ask you something? Anything. Am I really cursed? The question hit Sam like a punch to the gut. What? Doc Marsh said I was. Said my sickness was punishment for something my family did wrong. Said that's why Papa died. Because God was mad at us. Hope's voice trembled. Is that true? Is everything bad that happens because of me? Sam leaned forward, took her hands in his. Hope, look at me. She looked. Those pale blue eyes so much older than they should be. You are not cursed. Your sickness is not punishment. What happened to your father was not your fault. Sam's voice roughened. Doc Marsh is a liar. He tells people those things because it's easier than admitting he doesn't know how to help them. He blames you because he can't blame himself. But everyone believes him. Not everyone. Your mama doesn't believe him. Miss Eliza doesn't believe him. I don't believe him. Sam squeezed her hands. And pretty soon a lot more people aren't going to believe him either. What do you mean? I mean, we're going to show them the truth. About what Marsh has done. About how many children he's hurt by giving them the wrong treatment. About all the lies he's told to cover up his mistakes. Hope's eyes widened. You're going to fight him? Yeah. But he's a doctor. Everyone listens to doctors. They listen because they don't know any better. Once they know the truth, they'll stop listening. Hope was quiet for a long moment. Then softly, "Mr. Thornton." "Yeah." "I'm glad I came here, even if I was scared, even if it hurt." She smiled, small but real. "You're not mean at all, are you? You just pretend to be so people leave you alone." Sam felt his throat tighten. "Don't tell anyone. Ruin my reputation." Hope laughed, actually laughed. The sound filled the room like sunlight breaking through clouds. "Your secret's safe with me." Eliza appeared in the doorway. "Sam, someone's coming up the road." He was on his feet instantly. "How many?" "Just one. A woman. On foot." Sam moved to the window, squinted against the glare of sun on snow. A figure was trudging up the road toward the ranch. Bundled in a heavy coat, head down against the wind, moving slow but determined. "Stay with Hope," Sam told Eliza. He grabbed his rifle and went outside. The woman reached the gate as he stepped off the porch. She looked up and Sam recognized her face. Nora Whitfield. The woman Clara had gone to find. But Clara had left barely 2 hours ago. There was no way she could have reached town and sent Nora back already. "Mr. Thornton." Nora's voice was raw, broken. "I need help." "How did you know to come here?" "I didn't. I was coming anyway. Before Clara left town." Nora grabbed the gate, held herself upright. "Something's happened. Something bad." "What?" "My daughter, Molly. The one who died." Nora's face crumpled. "I found something. In her things. A letter Marsh wrote to Foster 6 months before she passed. It says—" She stopped, swallowed hard. "It says Marsh knew the treatment wasn't working, knew she was getting worse, but Foster told him to keep quiet. Said there was more money in managing the sickness than curing it." Sam felt cold spread through his chest. "Marsh let your daughter die for money. He let a lot of daughters die. A lot of sons." Nora pulled a folded paper from her coat, held it out with shaking hands. "This isn't the only letter. Marsh and Foster have been writing back and forth for years. I found a whole bundle of them hidden in the boarding house. Foster must have left them there by accident. Or maybe he just didn't think anyone would look." Sam took the letters, unfolded the first one, read it. His blood went cold. "This is evidence of conspiracy, murder, fraud." He looked up at Nora. "Does Foster know you have these?" "I don't know. Maybe. I left town fast as I could." Nora's voice cracked. "Mr. Thornton, my daughter is dead because those men decided she was worth more sick than healthy. I need someone to help me make them pay. Please, I don't have anyone else." Sam looked at the letters in his hand, at Nora's desperate face, at the house behind him where Hope was recovering from the same treatment that had killed Molly Whitfield. "Come inside, warm up, tell me everything." He helped Nora through the gate and up the porch steps. As they reached the door, Eliza appeared. "Sam, there's a rider coming from the west. Fast." He turned, a single horse pushing hard through the snow, coming from the direction of Miller Pass, the direction Clara and Jonas had gone. His heart stopped. The rider got closer, close enough to see. Jonas. Alone. His horse lathered and blown. Something was wrong. Sam ran to meet him. Jonas reined up hard. His face was white. "They took her." "What?" "Hicks and 4 others. They were waiting at the pass. Ambush. I tried to fight, but there were too many." Jonas's voice broke. "They took Clara. Said Foster wants to talk to her about her debts. Said if you want her back, you'll come to town. Alone. Unarmed. Tonight." Sam's vision went red. "Where?" "The church. 8 o'clock. Foster's terms." Jonas grabbed his arm. "Sam, it's a trap. You know it's a trap." "I know." "Then you can't go." "I have to." "He'll kill you. Or worse." "Maybe." Sam pulled free of Jonas's grip. But if I don't go, he'll kill Clara. And then he'll come for Hope. And then Nora. And everyone else who's ever thought about standing up to him. So, what's your plan? Sam looked back at the house. At the window where Hope was probably watching. At Nora standing on the porch, still clutching evidence that could destroy Foster's empire. I'm going to walk into that church. I'm going to look Foster in the eye. And I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse. What kind of offer? Sam's jaw set. The only kind men like him understand. The kind where everyone loses if he doesn't back down. He headed for the house. Behind him, Jonas called out, "Sam? What about Clara? What if he's already hurt her?" Sam stopped, turned. "Then God help him. Because I won't." Inside the house, Hope was crying. She'd heard everything. Of course she had. The walls were thin and her ears were sharp, and her mama was gone. Sam knelt beside her bed. "I'm going to get her back." "What if you can't? What if they hurt her? What if—" "Hope." Sam took her hands. "I made your mama a promise. I said I'd protect you both. I don't break promises. But they have guns. They have men. You're just one person. Sometimes one person is enough. If they're angry enough. If they care enough." Sam squeezed her hands. "Your mama cares about you more than anything in the world. She'd walk through fire to get back to you, and I'm going to make sure she gets the chance." Hope's chin trembled. "Promise?" "Promise." He kissed her forehead. First time he'd done that since Thomas died. Then he stood and walked out. In the kitchen, Eliza and Nora were waiting. "I'm going to town," Sam said. "Eliza, you stay here with Hope. Don't let anyone in. If I'm not back by midnight, take her and go. The Miller property abandoned cabin on the North Ridge. You know the one. Hide there until you can figure out what to do next. Sam?" "No arguments. Not this time." He looked at Nora. "Those letters. You said there's more. A whole bundle, hidden in my room at the boarding house. Can you get them?" "Maybe, if no one's watching." "Jonas will go with you. Get the letters. Bring them back here. Whatever happens in that church tonight, those letters are our insurance. If Foster knows we have evidence that could destroy him, he'll think twice about doing anything permanent." Nora nodded. "What about you?" "I'll handle Foster." "How?" Sam picked up his rifle, checked the chamber, loaded. The hard way. He walked out into the winter evening. The sun was setting, orange and red, bleeding across the sky like a wound. Sam saddled his horse, mounted up, looked back at the house one last time. Hope's face was in the window, small and pale and afraid. He raised his hand, a wave, a promise. Then he rode toward town, toward Clara, toward whatever was waiting for him in that church. The ride took 2 hours, long enough for Sam to think about everything that could go wrong, long enough for the fear to settle in, long enough for the anger to burn it away. Clara was in danger because of him, because he'd chosen to help her, because he'd broken his 6-year silence and dared to stand against men who'd grown used to winning. If she died because of that choice, he'd never forgive himself. Another name to add to the list. Another ghost to carry. But she wasn't going to die. Not tonight. Not if he had anything to say about it. Silver Creek appeared through the darkness. Lights in windows. Smoke from chimneys. A town that looked peaceful from a distance. Sam knew better. He rode down Main Street, slow, letting people see him. Faces appeared in windows, doors cracked open, whispers spread like wildfire. Thornton's back. Thornton's riding toward the church. Thornton's going to get himself killed. Let them whisper. Let them watch. Tonight, Silver Creek was going to see what happened when you pushed a man too far. The church stood at the end of the street, white clapboard, steeple reaching toward heaven. The doors were closed, but light leaked through the windows. Sam dismounted, tied his horse to the rail, took a deep breath. Then he walked through the doors. Foster was waiting. He sat in the front pew, legs crossed, hands folded like a man attending Sunday service instead of orchestrating kidnapping and extortion. Behind him, 6 men with guns, Hicks among them. And in the corner tied to a chair, her face bruised and her lip split. Clara. She looked up when Sam entered. Her eyes went wide. "Sam? No, it's a trap." "I know." Sam kept walking, down the center aisle, toward Foster, toward the men with guns. "Evening, Foster. Nice church you got here. Shame you're using it for this." Foster stood, slow, theatrical. "Mr. Thornton, so glad you could join us." His voice was smooth, cultured, the voice of a man who'd never done his own dirty work. "I believe you have something that belongs to me." Clara Maddox doesn't belong to anyone. "I wasn't talking about the woman." Foster's smile didn't reach his eyes. "I was talking about the letters, the ones Nora Whitfield stole from my property." Sam's heart hammered, but he kept his face still. "Don't know what you're talking about." "Don't lie to me, Thornton. Nora came to your ranch. I have people watching. I know she had those letters with her." Foster stepped closer. "Here's how this is going to work. You give me the letters. I give you the woman. Everyone goes home alive. Simple. And if I don't have the letters, then Mrs. Maddox has a very unpleasant evening ahead of her." Foster glanced at Clara. "She's already had a taste, hasn't she, Deputy?" Hicks grinned. Clara spat blood on the floor. "I told them nothing. I'll tell them nothing." "Brave woman." Foster's voice went cold. "Stupid but brave. Just like her daughter crawling through the snow to beg for help from a broken-down rancher who hasn't done anything useful in 6 years. Sam's hands curled into fists. "Let her go, Foster." "The letters first." "I don't have them with me." "Then send someone to get them. You have until midnight." Foster sat back down, crossed his legs. "If the letters aren't in my hands by then, Mrs. Maddox takes a long ride into the mountains, the kind people don't come back from." Clara's eyes met Sam's. In them he saw fear, but also something else. Trust. She trusted him to find a way out of this, and he would. He had to. "All right," Sam said. "I'll get your letters, but I want something in return." "You're not in a position to negotiate." "Sure I am, because those letters aren't the only copies. Nora's been busy. She's made copies and sent them to people you don't control, federal marshals, territorial judges, newspaper editors in Helena and Butte." Foster's smile flickered. "You're bluffing." "Am I? You willing to bet everything you've built on that?" Sam stepped closer. "Here's my offer. You let Clara go. You drop the debts against her family. You leave us alone. In exchange, I don't release those letters. Your secrets stay buried. You keep your empire. Everyone wins." The church went silent. Foster stared at him. For the first time, Sam saw something flicker behind those cold eyes. Doubt. "You're lying," Foster said. But his voice wasn't certain anymore. "Maybe, maybe not. Question is, are you willing to find out?" Sam held his gaze. "Because once those letters go public, it's over for you. Everything you've built, everything you've stolen, gone. Just like that." Foster's jaw tightened. "Hicks." "Yeah, boss." "Untie the woman." Hicks hesitated. "Boss, you sure?" "I said untie her." Hicks moved to Clara, cut her bonds. She stood slowly rubbing her wrists. "Walk to Mr. Thornton," Foster said. Slowly. Clara walked. Her eyes never left Sam's face. When she reached him, he took her hand, pulled her behind him. "We're leaving now," Sam said. "Anyone tries to stop us, those letters go out tomorrow. Understood?" Foster's face was a mask of fury. "This isn't over, Thornton." "Yeah, it is." Sam backed toward the door, Clara beside him. "You just don't know it yet." They made it outside. The cold air hit them like a wall. Clara sagged against him. "Sam." "Not yet. We need to move." He helped her onto his horse, climbed up behind her, wrapped his arms around her to hold the reins. "Hold on." They rode, fast as the horse could manage through the snow, away from the church, away from Foster, away from everything that had tried to destroy them. Clara's body shook against his. "They hurt you," Sam said. "I'm all right." "You're not all right. You're bleeding." "I'm alive. That's what matters." Clara's hand found his on the reins, squeezed. "You came for me. I made a promise. You could have died." "Worth the risk." She was quiet for a moment, then softer. "Sam?" "Yeah. Thank you." He held her tighter. They rode through the darkness toward the ranch, toward hope, toward whatever came next. Behind them, Silver Creek disappeared into the night. But Sam knew Foster wouldn't give up that easily. The fight wasn't over. It was just beginning. They reached the ranch an hour before midnight. Hope was awake, waiting at the window. The moment she saw her mother on the horse, she started screaming. "Mama! Mama!" Clara was off the horse before Sam could help her down. She ran up the porch steps, bad leg and all, and burst through the door. Sam heard the collision, mother and daughter, arms wrapped tight, sobbing. He stayed outside. Let them have the moment. Eliza appeared on the porch. "She's hurt." "I know. Hicks worked her over before I got there." "How bad?" "Bruises, split lip, maybe a cracked rib." Sam's jaw tightened. "She'll live." "And Foster?" "Still breathing, for now." Eliza studied his face. "You bluffed him." "Had to. He had 6 guns pointed at me." "What happens when he figures out there are no copies, no federal marshals waiting with evidence?" "We better have real evidence by then." Sam looked toward the road. "Jonas and Nora. They back yet?" "An hour ago. They got the letters, all of them." Sam felt something loosen in his chest. "How many?" 47, going back 8 years. Marsh and Foster writing to each other about every dirty deal they ever made. Eliza's voice hardened. "It's worse than we thought, Sam. Much worse. Tell me." 14 children. That's how many died under Marsh's care in the last 5 years. 14 families who trusted him to save their sons and daughters. And every single one of them got the same wrong treatment. Keep them still. Don't let them move. Manage the symptoms instead of curing the disease. He killed them. He let them die. There's a difference in law, but not in morality. Eliza crossed her arms. Foster knew. The letters prove it. He told Marsh to stretch out the treatments. More visits, more fees, more money flowing from desperate families into their pockets. Sam closed his eyes. 14 children. Thomas was one of them. Molly Whitfield. And Hope would have been the 15th if she hadn't crawled through that blizzard. What do we do now? We finish it. Sam opened his eyes. Tomorrow morning, I'm going back to town. I'm going to stand in the middle of Main Street and read those letters out loud. Every single one. Let the whole town hear what Foster and Marsh have been doing. They'll try to stop you. Let them try. Sam. Eliza grabbed his arm. This isn't just about justice anymore. This is about survival. If Foster feels cornered, he'll fight like a wounded animal. He'll burn everything down before he lets you win. Then we better be ready for the fire. He pulled free and walked into the house. Clara was sitting on the edge of Hope's bed, holding her daughter close. Both of them were crying. The soft, exhausted crying of people who'd been through too much and couldn't hold it in anymore. Sam stopped in the doorway. Clara looked up. Her face was swollen, one eye half shut from the bruising. But she was smiling. "She's okay," Clara whispered. "She's okay. I know. You saved me." "You saved yourself. I just provided the ride home." Clara laughed. Wet and broken, but real. Come here. Sam crossed the room, sat down on the other side of the bed. Hope reached out and took his hand. Mr. Thornton. Yeah. Mama told me what you did. How you walked into that church alone. How you faced all those men with guns. Hope's eyes were huge. Were you scared? Terrified? But you did it anyway. Your mama was in trouble. Wasn't any other choice. Hope was quiet for a moment. Then she squeezed his hand. Papa would have done the same thing. He was brave like you. Mama always says he died because he was too brave. Went into the mine even when he knew it wasn't safe. Tried to save the other men. Clara's breath caught. Hope. It's okay, Mama. I remember him. I remember how he was. Hope looked at Sam. You remind me of him sometimes. The way you look at Mama. Like she's the most important thing in the world. Sam's throat tightened. Hope It's okay. The little girl smiled. I think he'd want you to look at her like that. I think he'd be glad someone is. Clara made a sound. Half sob, half laugh. When did you get so wise? I've had a lot of time to think. When you can't walk, thinking is about all you can do. Sam looked at Clara. She looked at him. Something passed between them. Something that didn't need words. Get some sleep, Sam said finally. Both of you. Tomorrow's going to be a long day. What's happening tomorrow? We're going to finish what we started. He stood, walked to the door, stopped. Clara. Yes. I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad you came for me. He nodded and walked out. In the hallway, he let out a breath he'd been holding for hours. Jonas was waiting in the kitchen, spreading the letters across the table. 47 pieces of evidence, Jonas said. Enough to hang them both 10 times over. Sam picked up the nearest letter. Read it. The words blurred. Names and dates and amounts. Children treated. Children who died. Money changing hands while families buried their sons and daughters. This one mentions Thomas. I know. I saw it. Jonas's voice was gentle. Marsh wrote to Foster about him. Said the treatment wasn't working, but it didn't matter because you had money to pay. Said he could stretch it out another 6 months easy. Sam's hands shook. 6 months. Thomas suffered for 6 months while Marsh milked me for every dollar he could get. And when Thomas died, Marsh wrote another letter, expressing condolences, asking Foster to make sure no one looked too close at the cause of death. Sam set down the letter. I'm going to destroy them. I know. Both of them. Foster and Marsh. I'm going to take everything they have, everything they've built, and then I'm going to make sure they spend the rest of their lives in prison. That's the plan. Jonas pushed another stack of letters toward him. But first, we need allies. These letters are damning, but Foster's got influence. Money. Friends in high places. If we go public without support, he might be able to spin it. Say the letters are forged. Say we're lying. Who do we need? The families. Every family that lost a child. If they stand with us, testify to what happened, Foster won't be able to deny it. Jonas paused. Nora's already agreed. She's going to talk to the others tonight. The Chens, the Prestons, the Hendersons, anyone who's ever had reason to doubt Marsh's care. Will they listen? They're angry, Sam. They've been angry for years. They just didn't know who to blame. Now they do. Sam looked out the window. The night was dark. No stars, no moon. Just endless black. What time is it? Almost 1. Get some sleep. We move at dawn. What about you? I'll keep watch. Someone has to. Jonas hesitated. Sam, you've been up for almost 40 hours. You need rest. I'll rest when this is over. Jonas knew better than to argue. He headed for the back room. Sam poured himself cold coffee. Sat down at the table with the letters spread before him. 47 pieces of paper, 14 dead children, and 1 chance to make it right. He started reading. Dawn came gray and cold. Sam was still at the table when Eliza found him. The letters were organized now, sorted by date, by victim, by crime. You didn't sleep. Couldn't. Eliza poured coffee, set a cup in front of him. Clara's awake. She wants to come with you. No. I told her you'd say that. She said to tell you she's coming whether you like it or not. Sam looked up. She's hurt. She can barely walk. So's her daughter. Didn't stop Hope from crawling 3 miles. Eliza sat across from him. That woman's been fighting alone for 2 years. You think she's going to sit here while you finish her battle for her? This isn't just her battle anymore. No, it's everyone's. That's why she needs to be there. Eliza's voice softened. Let her fight Sam. Let her stand beside you. It matters. Sam rubbed his eyes. Fine, but she stays behind me. If shooting starts, you're going to have bigger problems than protecting Clara Maddox. The door opened. Clara walked in. She'd cleaned up overnight. The blood was gone. The swelling had reduced, but the bruises were dark and ugly across her face. I'm coming, she said before Sam could speak. I know. And I'm not staying behind you. Clara. My daughter is in that room wondering if her mama is ever going to be free. Wondering if we're ever going to have a life that isn't about running and hiding and hoping nobody notices us. Clara's voice shook. I'm going to look Foster in the eye today. I'm going to show him that he didn't break me, that he can't break us. And then I'm going to watch you tear his world apart. Sam stared at her. This woman, this fierce, stubborn, unbreakable woman who'd survived everything life had thrown at her and kept fighting. All right, he said quietly. You stand beside me. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. We might not survive this. Clara almost smiled. Then at least we go down swinging. Jonas appeared in the doorway. Riders coming, from town. Maybe 8 or 10. Sam was on his feet instantly. Foster. Can't tell yet, but they're moving fast. Sam grabbed his rifle, headed for the porch. The riders were maybe a mile out, coming hard, kicking up snow behind them. Sam raised the rifle, sighted. Then Jonas grabbed his arm. Wait, look at who's in front. Sam squinted. A woman, gray-haired, sitting her horse like she was born in the saddle. Behind her more women and men, families. That's Nora, Clara said from the doorway. And the Chens, the Prestons. Her voice caught. They came. They actually came. The riders pulled up at the gate. Nora dismounted first. Thornton, we heard Foster's planning to move against you this morning. Hicks has been gathering men all night. They're coming. How many? 20 at least, maybe more. Nora's jaw set. We figured you might need some help. Sam looked at the group behind her. 10 people, some with rifles, some with shotguns, all of them with eyes that said they were done being afraid. You could get killed. So could you. William Chen stepped forward. He was 40, lean and weathered with hands that knew hard work. My son James died because Marsh told me to keep him still. For 3 years I believed it was God's will. Now I know it was murder. His wife May stood beside him. We fight with you, Mr. Thornton, for James, for all of them. One by one the others spoke. Tom Preston, father of a daughter who'd never walked again. Sarah Henderson, whose son had died at 6. Michael Crawford, who'd lost 2 children in 3 years. Each name a wound. Each story a crime. Sam felt something shift inside him. He'd been planning to fight alone, to face Foster with nothing but his rage and his evidence. But he wasn't alone. These people had come. They'd risked everything, and they were standing with him. All right, Sam said. His voice was rough. Here's what we're going to do. They gathered on the porch. Sam spread the letters on the rail. Foster's got numbers. We've got truth. These letters prove everything. Every lie Marsh told. Every dollar Foster stole. every child they killed through neglect and greed. He looked at each face. We're going to ride into town. We're going to the church. And we're going to read these letters where everyone can hear. Let the whole town choose which side they're on. And when Foster tries to stop us, Jonas asked, then we show him what happens when you hurt the wrong people. Sam picked up the letters. Anyone who wants out, speak now. No shame in it. This is going to be dangerous. Silence. Not a single person moved. Clara stepped forward. Then let's go. They rode out together, 13 people against an army. The road to town had never felt longer. Sam rode in front with Clara beside him. Behind them, Jonas and Dora and the families. All of them moving with a purpose that felt like destiny. Halfway there, they saw the smoke, rising from Silver Creek, black and thick against the gray sky. What the hell? Jonas spurred his horse forward. They crested the ridge and saw it. The church was burning. Flames poured from the windows. The steeple was already gone, collapsed into the inferno. People ran through the streets, shouting, throwing buckets of snow at the blaze. Foster, Clara breathed. He's destroying the evidence. He knows we're coming. The letters are safe. We have them. Sam's mind raced. But he's sending a message, telling the town what happens to people who stand against him. What do? We go anyway. They rode down into the chaos. Main Street was packed. Everyone in Silver Creek had turned out to watch their church burn. Faces flickered orange in the firelight. Children cried. Women prayed. Sam dismounted in front of the general store. People of Silver Creek. His voice cut through the noise. Heads turned. I know who burned your church. I know why. And I have proof. The crowd shifted. Murmurs spread. Foster appeared from the crowd. He was smiling. That cold, calculated smile that never reached his eyes. Mr. Thornton, making accusations again. He spread his hands. A tragedy, this fire, but accidents happen. Old buildings, dry wood. These things are unpredictable. This wasn't an accident. You burned it to send a message, to tell these people what happens when they question you. Ridiculous. I'm as devastated as anyone. Foster's voice carried. This church was the heart of our community, the idea that I would destroy it. The same way you destroyed their children. Silence. Complete and sudden. Foster's smile flickered. What did you say? Sam pulled the letters from his coat. 47 letters, written between you and Dr. Marsh over the last 8 years, documenting every child you killed, every treatment you sabotaged, every dollar you stole while families buried their sons and daughters. The crowd shifted, pressed closer. That's a lie. Foster's voice hardened. Those papers are forgeries. Then explain this one. Sam unfolded a letter, read aloud. Dear Hiram, the Thornton boy is declining faster than expected. I recommend extending treatment through the spring. The father is wealthy and desperate. We can extract another 500 at minimum before nature takes its course. Signed, Harrison Marsh. A gasp rippled through the crowd. Sam looked up. Thomas. My son. 14 years old. Dead because this man decided he was worth more sick than healthy. Lies. Foster's face reddened. This man is a fraud, a bitter, grieving father looking for someone to blame. Then explain this one. Clara stepped forward. Her bruised face was visible to everyone. A letter about my husband's death, about how convenient it was that the mine collapsed when it did. Because William Maddox was asking questions about safety violations, about money that was supposed to go to repairs but never did. She held up the letter. You killed my husband. You crippled my daughter. And then you tried to take everything we had left. More gasps, more murmurs. Foster looked around. His men were there, Hicks and the others. But the crowd was pressing close. Angry faces, clenched fists. Arrest them. Foster pointed at Sam. They're spreading sedition. attacking a respected member of this community. Hicks stepped forward, but so did William Chen. My son James, 8 years old, dead because Marsh told us to keep him still. He pulled out a letter. This one says Foster told Marsh to stretch out the treatment. More visits, more money, while my boy wasted away. Tom Preston stepped up beside him. My daughter Sarah, same story, same lies. Michael Crawford, my 2 boys, same doctor, same death sentence. One by one the families came forward, each with a letter, each with a child who'd been killed by greed and neglect. The crowd turned, not toward Sam, toward Foster. You son of a bitch. A man in the crowd, someone Sam didn't recognize. My nephew died last year. Marsh said there was nothing he could do, said it was God's will. My daughter couldn't walk. Marsh told us to accept it, said some children weren't meant to be whole. A woman, tears streaming down her face. You told me my wife's death was natural, but she was healthy before she went to Marsh, healthy until she started his treatments. The accusations piled up. Years of grief and doubt and suspicion finally given voice. Foster backed toward his men. This is madness. These people are hysterical. Someone get control of this situation. Hicks drew his gun. Sam drew his. Don't. Their eyes met. You fire that weapon, you start a war you can't win, Sam said quietly. Look around. These people are done being afraid. You shoot me, they'll tear you apart. Hicks looked at the crowd, at the fury in their eyes, at the weapons some of them had drawn. His gun hand wavered. Hicks, Foster's voice cracked. I order you to go to hell. Hicks holstered his weapon, stepped back. His men followed. Foster stood alone. The crowd pressed closer. Hiram Foster. Sam's voice rang out. For the crimes of fraud, extortion, conspiracy to commit murder, and the deaths of 14 children, I'm placing you under citizen's arrest until federal authorities can take custody. You have no authority. The people of Silver Creek give me authority. Sam looked at the crowd. Who stands with me? A roar went up. Fists raised, voices shouting. Foster's face went white. This isn't over, he whispered. Yeah. Sam stepped forward. It is. Jonas and William Chen grabbed Foster's arms, pinned them behind his back. The crowd parted to let them through. Clara appeared at Sam's side. We did it. Not yet. We still need to find Marsh. He's gone. Nora pushed through the crowd. I checked his office. Empty. Looks like he ran when the church started burning. Which way? North, toward the mountains. Sam looked at Jonas. Take Foster to the jail. Lock him up. Don't let anyone near him until I get back. Where are you going? To finish this. He mounted his horse. Clara grabbed his arm. Sam, wait. Let him go. He's not worth dying for. He's not worth letting live either. Sam looked down at her. Every day he's free, he can hurt someone else. Some other child. Some other family. I won't let that happen. Then I'm coming with you. No, stay with Hope. She needs you. Sam. He leaned down, kissed her, hard and fast and desperate. When he pulled back, her eyes were wide. I'll come back, he said. I promise. Then he rode north, toward the mountains, toward Marsh, toward the end. The trail north cut through frozen wilderness like a scar. Sam pushed his horse hard. Too hard, maybe. The animal was breathing heavy steam rising from its nostrils. But he couldn't slow down. Every minute he wasted was another minute Marsh got farther away. The tracks were fresh, deep in the snow. A single horse moving fast. Marsh wasn't trying to hide. He was just trying to run. Coward. Sam thought about Thomas, about the letters, about all those years of wondering if he could have done something different. Saved his son. Changed the outcome. Now he knew the truth. Thomas died because a man decided money was worth more than a child's life, and that man was somewhere ahead of him. Running. hoping to disappear into the mountains and start over somewhere else. Not today. Not ever. The trail climbed higher. The trees thinned. Wind cut through Sam's coat like it wasn't there. Then he saw him. Marsh's horse had gone lame. The animal stood at the edge of a frozen creek, favoring its front leg. Marsh was on foot now, struggling through knee-deep snow, looking back over his shoulder every few seconds. He saw Sam coming and started to run. "Marsh!" The doctor stumbled, fell, got up, kept moving. Sam spurred his horse forward, closed the distance in seconds, swung down from the saddle and tackled Marsh into the snow. They went down hard, rolling, fighting. Marsh was soft from years of easy living, but fear made him strong. He clawed at Sam's face, tried to gouge his eyes. Sam pinned him, drove his fist into Marsh's jaw. The doctor's head snapped back, blood sprayed from his split lip. "Stop, please, I'll give you anything. You don't have anything I want." "Money. I have money. Thousands saved. It's yours. All of it. Just let me go." Sam grabbed Marsh by the collar, hauled him up, slammed him against a tree. 14 children. "What?" 14 children died because of you. My son was one of them." Marsh's face went white. Thomas Thornton." Sam's voice shook with rage. "You wrote letters about him, talked about stretching out his treatment, extracting more money from his desperate father." "I didn't. I was just—" "You killed him. You and Foster. You decided he was worth more dead than alive, and you collected your money while I buried my boy." Marsh started crying. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Foster made me do it. He said if I didn't follow his orders, he'd ruin me, expose me. I didn't have a choice." "Everyone has a choice. You don't understand. Foster owns this town, owns everyone in it. If I'd refused, he would have destroyed me." "So you destroyed children instead." Sam's grip tightened. "You took an oath to do no harm, and you broke it every single day for 8 years. Please, I can help you. I'll testify against Foster, tell everyone everything. Just let me live." Sam stared at him. This pathetic, sniveling creature, this man who'd held Thomas's life in his hands and thrown it away for profit. He wanted to kill him, wanted to wrap his hands around Marsh's throat and squeeze until the light left his eyes. Wanted to make him feel the same terror Thomas must have felt in those final months. But then he thought about Clara, about hope, about the life waiting for him back at the ranch if he could just let go of the hate long enough to claim it. "You're going to testify," Sam said slowly. "You're going to tell everyone what Foster made you do, every crime, every death, everything." Yes, I will, I swear." "And then you're going to prison for the rest of your miserable life." "I understand. I accept that." Sam released him. Marsh collapsed in the snow, sobbing. "Get up." The doctor struggled to his feet. "We're going back to town. You're going to face the families you destroyed. You're going to look them in the eye and admit what you did." "I can't. They'll kill me." "Maybe, but that's not my concern anymore." Sam grabbed Marsh's arm, started dragging him toward the horses. "You had a choice every single day for 8 years. You chose wrong. Now you live with the consequences." They rode back in silence. Marsh's hands were tied to the saddle horn. His face was swollen. His eyes were empty. Sam felt nothing. No triumph. No satisfaction. Just a hollow ache where the rage used to be. Thomas was still dead. Nothing would change that. Not justice. Not revenge. Not watching the man responsible get everything he deserved. But maybe Sam thought this was how healing started. Not with forgetting. Not with moving on. Just with doing what was right. Even when it didn't feel like enough. They reached Silver Creek as the sun was setting. The town had transformed. The church was still smoking, but the fire was out. People filled the streets. Not panicking anymore. Organizing. Talking. Making decisions without Foster there to tell them what to think. Jonas met them at the edge of town. "You got him." "Wasn't hard. He runs like he practices medicine. Poorly." Jonas almost smiled. Foster's locked up. Whole town's been standing guard. Nobody's letting him escape. He looked at Marsh. What about this one? He's going to testify. Tell everyone everything Foster made him do. Sam dismounted. Get him to the jail. Keep them separated. I don't want them coordinating their stories. And you? I'm going home. Jonas nodded, took Marsh's reins. Sam. Yeah. You did good today. Thomas would be proud. Sam's throat tightened. Maybe. He rode home. The ranch was quiet when he arrived. Too quiet. Sam's hand went to his gun. He dismounted slowly, approached the house. The front door was open. Clara. No answer. He moved through the doorway, into the darkness. Clara, Hope, Eliza. Nothing. His heart hammered. Blood roared in his ears. Then he heard it. Laughter. Coming from the back of the house. From Thomas's room. Sam ran. He burst through the door and found them. Clara, Hope, Eliza. All three sitting on the bed, playing cards by lamplight, laughing at something Hope had said. They looked up when he entered. Sam, Clara rose. What's wrong? You look like you've seen a ghost. The door was open. I thought... Oh. Eliza waved her hand. That was my fault. The latch is broken. Been meaning to fix it. Sam stood there, heart still racing. Relief flooding through him so fast it made him dizzy. You're okay. We're fine. Clara crossed to him, touched his face. Sam, what happened? Did you find Marsh? I found him. He's in jail. He's going to testify against Foster. That's wonderful. Yeah. But Sam wasn't looking at her. He was looking past her, at Hope. The little girl was sitting up in bed, stronger than she'd been even a few days ago. There was color in her cheeks, light in her eyes. Mr. Thornton. Yeah, Hope. Did you catch the bad man? I caught him. Is he going to prison? For a very long time. Hope nodded. Good. She looked down at her legs, at the limbs that had been her prison for 2 years. Miss Eliza says I might be able to stand soon, if I keep doing my exercises, if I work really hard. Sam crossed the room, sat on the edge of the bed. You will. I know you will. How do you know? Because you're the bravest person I've ever met. You crawled through a blizzard when everyone else gave up. You didn't let anyone tell you what was possible. He took her hand. If anyone can beat this, it's you. Hope's eyes filled. I'm scared sometimes. That it won't work. That I'll never walk again. Being scared is okay. Being scared means you care about something enough to be afraid of losing it. Sam squeezed her hand. But you're not alone anymore. Whatever happens, you've got your mama. You've got Eliza. You've got me. Forever. The word hung in the air. Sam looked at Clara. She was watching him with those amber eyes, waiting. Yeah, Sam said quietly. Forever. Hope threw her arms around him. Sam held her, felt her small body trembling against his chest, smelled the soap in her hair and the warmth of her skin. This was what he'd been missing for 6 years. This connection, this purpose, this feeling of being needed by someone who believed in him. Clara sat down beside them. Her hand found Sam's shoulder. Thank you, she whispered, for everything. I should be thanking you. For what? For reminding me how to live. That night, after Hope fell asleep and Eliza retired to her room, Sam and Clara sat on the porch. The sky was clear. Stars scattered across the darkness like diamonds on black velvet. Cold, but not bitter. The kind of cold that felt clean. Fresh. What happens now? Clara asked. Trial. Foster and Marsh face justice. The town starts over. Sam paused. And us? We figure out what we want to be. Clara was quiet for a moment. I've been alone for 2 years. Learned to depend on no one but myself. Taught myself that needing anyone was weakness. And now I'm not sure. She looked at him. You terrify me, Sam Thornton. I terrify you, because you make me want things I'd stopped letting myself want. A home, a partner, a future. Her voice dropped. I'm afraid if I let myself want those things, they'll be taken away. Like William was. Like everything good in my life has been. Sam reached for her hand. I can't promise nothing bad will ever happen. Life doesn't work that way. But I can promise I'll be here. Whatever comes, good or bad. Why, you barely know me. I know enough. I know you've got more courage than anyone I've ever met. I know you raised a daughter who's wise beyond her years. I know you faced down Foster and his men without flinching. He paused. And I know that when I look at you, I feel something I thought died with Thomas. Clara's breath caught. Sam, I'm not asking for anything. Not now. We've both got healing to do. But when you're ready, if you're ever ready, I'll be here. Clara stared at him for a long moment. Then she leaned over and kissed him. Soft, gentle. A question more than an answer. Sam kissed her back. When they parted, Clara was smiling. I might be ready sooner than you think. Yeah. They sat there together, holding hands, watching the stars. For the first time in 6 years, Sam felt at peace. The next morning, everything changed. Jonas rode up hard just after dawn. His face was gray. Sam, we've got a problem. What? Foster escaped. Sam's blood went cold. How? Hicks. He wasn't as reformed as he pretended. Slipped Foster a key during the night. They're both gone. Where? Don't know, but Foster left a message. Jonas handed over a folded paper. Sam opened it, read. His hands started shaking. What does it say? Clara appeared in the doorway. Sam looked up at her. He's coming here. Tonight. He says if I don't give him the letters and let him leave the territory, he'll burn this ranch to the ground with everyone in it. Clara's face went white. Hope. Get her out of here. Take her to the Miller cabin, the one on the North Ridge. I'm not leaving you. Clara. No. Her voice hardened. I'm done running. I've been running for 2 years. From the town, from Foster, from my own grief. I'm not running anymore. He'll kill you. Then he kills me, but I'm not letting him take everything again, not without a fight. Sam stared at her. This woman, this fierce, unbreakable woman. He loved her. The realization hit him like a thunderbolt. He loved her, and he was going to lose her if he didn't think of something fast. All right, he said slowly. Then we fight. What's the plan, Jonas? How many men do we have? 8 counting the families. Maybe 10 if we can get word out in time. Foster's got Hicks and whoever else he can hire. That's at least 20. 20 against 10. Bad odds. We've had worse. Sam's mind raced. This ranch is defensible. We know the ground. We've got walls, we've got weapons, and we've got something Foster doesn't. What's that? Something to fight for. He looked at Clara. At the house where Hope was sleeping. At the life he'd just started to build from the ashes of his grief. Get the families. Tell them what's happening. Anyone who wants to fight, bring them here. Anyone who doesn't, get them out of town. What about the letters? Foster wants them. He's not getting them. Those letters are evidence. They're going to a federal judge as soon as this is over. And if we don't win, Sam picked up his rifle. Then we make sure we take Foster with us. The day passed in preparation. They fortified the ranch as best they could, piled furniture against windows, set up firing positions, stockpiled ammunition. The families arrived throughout the morning. The Chens, the Prestons, the Hendersons, all of them armed, all of them ready. Nora Whitfield came last. She carried her husband's old shotgun. Figured you could use an extra gun. I thought you'd want to stay out of this. My daughter's dead because of Foster and Marsh. Nothing's going to stay me out of this. She pumped the shotgun. Where do you want me? By afternoon, they had 12 people. 12 against however many Foster could gather. Sam called them together in the main room. Some of you might not make it through tonight. I want you to know that up front. If anyone wants to leave, now's the time. No shame in it. No one moved. All right, Sam's voice roughened. Then let's make sure Foster regrets ever crossing us. As darkness fell, Clara found Sam at the front window. Hope's asking for you. I should stay here. She needs to see you, needs to know you're okay. Clara touched his arm. 5 minutes. Sam went. Hope was sitting up in bed wrapped in blankets. Her face was pale. She knew something was wrong. Mr. Thornton. Hey, Hope. Mama says bad men are coming. That's right. Are you going to fight them? Yeah. Are you going to win? Sam sat on the edge of the bed. I'm going to try my very best. Hope was quiet for a moment. I don't want you to die. I don't want to die either. Promise me you won't. Promise me you'll be here tomorrow. Sam's heart broke. He couldn't make that promise. He knew he couldn't. Foster was coming with an army, and 12 people with rifles weren't guaranteed to stop him. But looking into those pale blue eyes, he found himself saying the words anyway. I promise. Hope threw her arms around him. I love you, Mr. Thornton. Sam held her tight. I love you too, Hope. More than you'll ever know. When he walked back to the front room, Clara was waiting. What did you tell her? The truth, mostly. What does that mean? It means I promise to be here tomorrow. Sam met her eyes. And I intend to keep that promise, whatever it takes. Clara kissed him, hard, desperate, like it might be the last time. Don't you dare die on me, Sam Thornton. Wouldn't dream of it. At 9 o'clock, Jonas called out from the window. They're coming. Sam moved to look. Torches. Maybe 30 of them. Moving through the darkness toward the ranch. Foster had brought an army. Sam checked his rifle, counted his bullets. 12 people. 30 enemies. Terrible odds. But he'd faced terrible odds before. And he had something now he hadn't had in years. A reason to live. He looked at Clara. At the families gathered in his home. At the room where Hope was hiding under her blankets, trusting him to keep her safe. All right, Sam said quietly. Let's end this. The first torch arced through the darkness. It hit the barn. Flames erupted. Foster's voice echoed across the yard. Last chance, Thornton. Give me the letters and everyone lives. Refuse and you all burn. Sam stepped onto the porch. Foster. Thornton, I see you've gathered your little army. How touching, but you're outnumbered 3-1. Surrender now, and I'll make this quick. I've got a counteroffer. I'm listening. You walk away. Right now. Leave the territory. Never come back. And maybe, just maybe, I won't hunt you down and kill you myself. Foster laughed. You're bluffing. You're a broken-down rancher with a dozen farmers for backup. You can't stop me. Maybe not. Sam raised his rifle. But I can make sure you don't survive to enjoy your victory. The first shot rang out, and hell broke loose. Sam's first bullet caught a torch carrier in the shoulder. The man went down screaming. His torch hit the snow and sputtered out. Fire! Sam shouted. 12 rifles cracked at once. The night exploded with muzzle flashes and gun smoke. Foster's men scattered. Some dove for cover behind the fence posts. Others retreated into the darkness. 2 more fell and didn't get up. Reload! Keep firing! Sam worked his rifle. Ejected. Chambered. Fired. A man running toward the house spun and dropped. Beside him, Jonas was a machine. Calm, methodical, every shot finding a target. They're flanking left, William Chen shouted from the kitchen window. Nora Tom, Cover the left side." More shots. More screams. The smell of gunpowder filled the air. But Foster had numbers. For every man they dropped, 3 more pressed forward. A window shattered. Glass sprayed across the room. Clara screamed. "Clara!" "I'm fine. Splinter cut my arm. Keep shooting." Sam's heart hammered. He fired again. 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 A bullet whizzed past his ear. Close. Too close. "They're at the barn!" Jonas yelled. Sam turned. Flames were spreading across the barn roof. His horses were screaming inside. "Someone get those animals out!" "I'll go!" Michael Crawford ran for the back door. "No, Michael, wait, too late." Crawford burst outside, made it 3 steps before a bullet caught him in the chest. He fell. "Michael!" His wife Sarah screamed from inside. Sam grabbed her before she could run out. "He's gone. Sarah, he's gone. If you go out there, you die too." Sarah collapsed against him, sobbing. "Keep fighting." Sam handed her to Eliza. Turned back to the window. Fired. The attack was relentless. Foster's men kept coming, wave after wave. "Running low on ammunition," Tom Preston shouted. "Same here." William Chen. Sam checked his own pouch. 6 bullets left. Maybe 7. They weren't going to make it. "Sam!" Clara's voice. Urgent. "Sam, they're breaking through the back." He ran to the rear of the house. 3 men were prying boards off the back door. 1 kick and they'd be inside. Sam fired through the wood. A scream. 1 man down. The other 2 kept working. He fired again. Missed. His hands were shaking. The door burst open. A big man with a beard charged through. Sam raised his rifle like a club. Swung. The impact jarred his arms. The man staggered. Sam hit him again, and again, until he stopped moving. The 3rd man appeared in the doorway, raised his pistol. Sam was too slow. He knew it. Saw death coming. A shotgun blast exploded behind him. The man flew backward, hit the snow, didn't get up. Nora Whitfield stood in the hallway, smoke rising from her barrel. "That's for Molly," she said. Sam nodded. No time for thanks. They ran back to the front. The attack had stalled. Foster's men were regrouping in the darkness, dragging their wounded with them. "Hold fire. Conserve ammunition." Silence fell. Heavy. Ominous. Sam counted heads. 11 people still standing. Michael Crawford dead. Sarah wounded now, too. A bullet grazed on her leg. "How many did we get?" Jonas asked. 8, maybe 9. They've still got 20. And we're almost out of bullets. Sam's mind raced. 20 against 11. No ammunition. The barn burning. 1 man dead. They couldn't win this fight. Not like this. "Jonas." "Yeah." "Get everyone to the root cellar. There's a tunnel. Leads out past the north fence. I dug it years ago. Emergency escape." "What about you?" "I'm going to buy you time." "Sam, no." "It's not a discussion. Get Clara and Hope out. Get everyone out. I'll hold them as long as I can." "That's suicide." "Maybe." Sam grabbed Jonas's shoulder. "You were a good friend. Best I ever had. Now go." Jonas stared at him for a long moment. "You stubborn bastard." "That's me." Jonas turned, started gathering people. Clara appeared in front of Sam. "No." "Clara." "I said no. You don't get to sacrifice yourself. That's not how this ends. If I don't hold them off, they'll catch you in the tunnel. Foster will kill Hope. Kill everyone. Then we find another way. There is no other way. There's always another way." Clara grabbed his face, forced him to look at her. "You promised her, Sam. You promised Hope you'd be here tomorrow. Are you going to break that promise?" Sam's throat tightened. "If it means saving her life." "She doesn't want her life if you're not in it. Neither do I." Clara's eyes filled. "We fight together. We die together. Or we find another way. Those are the options. Sam looked at her. This woman. This fierce, impossible woman who'd walked into his life and refused to let him give up. You're the most stubborn person I've ever met. Learned from the best. Clara almost smiled. Now think. You're smart. There has to be something we're missing. Sam closed his eyes. Think. Think. Foster wanted the letters. That's what this was all about. Not revenge, not pride. The letters. Without them, Foster could still escape, start over somewhere else. But with them in circulation, he was finished. Which meant... the letters. What? Sam's eyes snapped open. Foster doesn't know we've already sent copies to the federal marshal. He thinks the only evidence is here, in this house. So we negotiate. Tell him the letters are in the barn that's burning right now. Clara's face changed. Understanding dawned. If he thinks the letters are about to be destroyed, he has to stop the fire, has to save the evidence. His men focus on the barn instead of us. And while they're distracted, we get everyone out through the tunnel. Sam grabbed her arm. It's not much of a chance, but it's something. Clara nodded. Do it. Sam moved to the front window. Foster, I want to talk. Silence. Then Foster's voice floating from the darkness. Changing your mind about surrender. I'm changing my mind about the letters. They're in the barn. The barn you're burning. Pause. You're lying. Am I? You've been looking for them all night. Why do you think you couldn't find them in the house? Sam's voice hardened. My safe's in the barn, behind the feed bins. Fire reaches it, everything burns. Your letters, your evidence, your only chance to stay free. Longer pause. Sam held his breath. Cease fire. Foster's voice echoed. Everyone cease fire. Get water on that barn now. Movement in the darkness. Men running toward the burning structure. Buckets, snow. Desperate attempts to save what they thought was their salvation. Go, Sam hissed. Everyone move now. Jonas led the way. Through the house. Down into the root cellar. Into the narrow tunnel Sam had dug 5 years ago when he first moved to this ranch. Clara grabbed Hope from the bedroom. The little girl was crying terrified, but she didn't make a sound. Brave even now. One by one they disappeared into the darkness. Sam went last. Took one final look at his home. At Thomas's room. At everything he was leaving behind. Then he followed his family into the earth. The tunnel was narrow, dark, smelled like dirt and fear. Sam crawled behind Clara, who crawled behind Jonas, who led the line of survivors through the blackness. Behind them, they could hear Foster's men shouting. Fighting the fire. Trying to save evidence that didn't exist. The tunnel went on forever. Or maybe it just felt that way. Then light. Faint. Gray. The exit. Jonas pushed through first. Then Clara with Hope. Then the others one by one. Sam emerged into the cold night air. They were 100 yards north of the ranch. Hidden by a ridge. Safe. For now. Everyone here? Sam counted heads. 11. Good. Let's move. Where? Clara asked. The Miller cabin. We hide there until morning. Then we ride for Helena. Get help. They started walking. Hope was too weak to keep up. Sam lifted her, carried her against his chest. Mr. Thornton. Yeah. Is our house going to be okay? Sam looked back. The ranch was glowing in the darkness. Fire spreading from the barn to the main house. Everything he owned. Everything he'd built. Going up in flames. I don't know, Hope, but we're going to be okay. That's what matters. Hope buried her face against his shoulder. I'm sorry. For what? For bringing trouble to your door. If I hadn't come. Don't. Sam's voice roughened. Don't ever apologize for being brave. You saved us Hope. You and your mama. You gave me something to fight for." Hope sniffled. "Really? Really?" They walked on. An hour later, they reached the cabin. It was small, abandoned, cold, but it had walls and a roof, and it wasn't on fire. Sam built a fire in the old stone hearth. The smoke would be visible come morning, but by then they'd be gone. Clara settled Hope on a pile of old blankets. The child was exhausted, asleep within minutes. The others found spots around the room, collapsed, some crying, some praying, all of them grateful to be alive. Jonas approached Sam. "Foster's going to figure out we tricked him. When he does, he'll come looking." "I know. We need to move at first light." "What about Michael's body?" Sam closed his eyes. "We'll come back for him, when this is over. Give him a proper burial." Jonas nodded. "Sam." "Yeah. Back there, when you were ready to sacrifice yourself." Jonas paused. "Thank you, for being willing, and thank Clara for not letting you." Sam almost smiled. "She's something, isn't she? She's everything." Jonas clapped his shoulder. "Don't let her go." "I don't intend to." Around 3 in the morning, Clara found Sam by the window. He was watching the darkness, waiting for trouble that might or might not come. "You should sleep," she said. "Can't." "Neither can I." She sat down beside him. "Sam, what happens if Foster catches us?" "He won't." "But if he does?" Sam turned to look at her. "Then I kill him. Or he kills me. Either way, you and Hope survive. Jonas will make sure of it." "That's not good enough." "It's all I've got." Clara took his hand. "I want more. I want you alive. I want Hope healthy. I want a home and a future, and all the things I'd stopped letting myself want." "So do I." "Then promise me. Promise me we get that." Sam thought about all the promises he'd broken, all the times he'd failed the people he loved. But looking at Clara's face, he found himself believing again. "I promise." She kissed him. "I'm holding you to that, Sam Thornton." "I know you will." Dawn broke cold and clear. Sam roused everyone, got them moving. They had 4 horses between 12 people. The wounded rode. The rest walked. Helena was 50 miles south. 2 days' travel if they pushed hard. They made it 10 miles before the riders appeared. "Company coming?" Jonas shouted. "From the west." Sam's heart dropped. Foster. It had to be Foster. Everyone into the trees hide. They scattered, found cover behind rocks and fallen logs. Sam raised his rifle, waited. The riders got closer. 5 of them. 6. Then Sam saw the badges. "Hold fire. Those are marshals. Federal marshals. A whole squad of them. Riding hard from the west." The lead rider spotted them, raised his hand. "Samuel Thornton." "That's me. Deputy Marshal James Garrett. We got word about the situation in Silver Creek, came as fast as we could." Sam stepped out of cover. His legs felt weak. "How did you know?" "Your friend Jonas. Sent a telegram 3 days ago. Said you might need backup." Garrett dismounted. "Looks like he was right. We saw the fire from 10 miles out. What happened?" "Foster happened. He's got maybe 20 men. Attacked my ranch, killed one of ours, tried to kill us all." Garrett's face hardened. "Then let's go finish this." The ride back to Silver Creek took 4 hours. By the time they arrived, the sun was high and the town was in chaos. Foster's men had scattered. Some fled into the mountains. Some surrendered the moment they saw federal badges. And Foster himself. They found him in the ruins of Sam's barn. The fire had burned all night. Nothing left but charred beams and smoking ash. Foster was on his knees in the middle of it, digging through the debris with his bare hands, looking for letters that weren't there. "Hiram Foster." Garrett's voice rang out. You're under arrest for arson, murder, conspiracy, and about 30 other charges I'll think of on the ride to Helena." Foster looked up. His face was streaked with soot. His hands were burned. His eyes were wild. "The letters. Where are the letters?" "On their way to a federal judge. Have been for 2 days." Sam stepped forward. "You lost Foster. It's over." Foster lunged. Sam didn't flinch, didn't reach for his gun. Garrett's men grabbed Foster before he got close, threw him face down in the ash, cuffed him. "You think this is over?" Foster screamed. "This is just the beginning. I'll get out. I'll find you. I'll burn everything you love." Sam crouched down, looked Foster in the eye. "No, you won't." His voice was quiet, certain. "You're going to prison for the rest of your life. And every day you're there, you're going to remember this moment, the moment you lost everything because you thought you were untouchable." Foster spat at him. Sam stood up, walked away. Behind him, the marshals dragged Foster toward their horses. It was over. Finally, truly over. 1 month later. Spring came early to Montana that year. The snow melted. The grass turned green. Life returned to a land that had been frozen for too long. Sam stood on the porch of his new house. It wasn't as big as the old one. They'd built it from scratch with help from the town. But it had everything they needed. 4 rooms, a stone fireplace, a view of the mountains, and a family inside. "Sam, dinner's ready." Clara's voice. Warm, happy. The voice of a woman who'd finally stopped being afraid. "Coming." He walked inside. The table was set. Eliza had made her famous stew. Jonas was already seated sneaking bites when he thought no one was looking. And Hope was standing. On her own 2 legs, without braces, without crutches, shaking a little but standing. "Mr. Thornton." "Look." Sam stopped. His throat closed up. "Hope. Miss Eliza says I've been making progress. She says maybe by summer I'll be able to walk to the creek and back." Hope's smile was brighter than sunshine. "Isn't that wonderful?" Sam crossed the room, knelt in front of her. "That's the most wonderful thing I've ever heard." "You're crying." "Am not." "Are too. I can see it." Sam laughed, wiped his eyes. "Maybe a little." Hope threw her arms around him. "I love you, Papa." The word hit him like a thunderbolt. Papa. She'd never called him that before. Sam looked at Clara. She was crying too, smiling through tears. "I love you too, Hope." His voice broke. "More than anything in the world." That night after dinner, after Jonas went home, and Eliza retired to her room, and Hope fell asleep in her new bed, Sam and Clara sat on the porch. The stars were out. Millions of them. Scattered across the darkness like promises waiting to be kept. "She called me Papa." "I heard." Clara took his hand. "How do you feel about that?" "Terrified, happy, like I don't deserve it." "You deserve it more than anyone I know." Sam was quiet for a moment. "I've been thinking." "About what?" "About the future. About us." He turned to look at her. "Clara, I know we haven't known each other long. I know there's still healing to do. But I need to ask you something." Clara's breath caught. "Sam?" He reached into his pocket, pulled out a ring. It wasn't much. A simple gold band he'd had made in town. Nothing fancy, nothing expensive, but it was real, and so was he. "Marry me." Clara stared at the ring, at him. "Sam Thornton, are you proposing to me?" "Trying to. Doing a pretty bad job of it." "You're doing fine." Clara's eyes filled. "Yes. Yes. Yes, I'll marry you. Yes, I'll spend my life with you. Yes, yes, yes." Sam slipped the ring on her finger. Then he kissed her. Long. Deep. Full of everything he'd been afraid to feel for 6 years. When they finally parted, Clara was laughing. "What?" "Nothing. Just..." She shook her head. A month ago, I was a widow with nothing. A sick daughter. No home. No hope. And now I have everything. She touched his face. Because of you. Because of Hope. She's the one who came looking for help. I just opened the door. You did more than open the door, Sam. You walked through it, into our lives, into our hearts. Clara smiled. That little girl crawled through a blizzard because she believed someone would help her. You proved her right. Sam looked out at the mountains, at the land he'd come to for solitude, and found a family instead. I spent 6 years running from my grief, hiding from the world, convinced I didn't deserve happiness because I couldn't save Thomas. And now I know the truth. Happiness isn't something you deserve. It's something you choose, something you fight for. He pulled Clara close. Every day, for the rest of your life. Is that what you're choosing, to fight for us? Every single day. Sam kissed her forehead. Until my last breath. Clara settled against his shoulder. They sat there together, watching the stars, listening to the silence. Inside the house, their daughter slept peacefully, dreaming of walking, of running, of all the things that were finally possible. Outside, the world turned. Spring became summer. Time moved forward. And Samuel Thornton, the man who'd lost everything, discovered something he'd forgotten was true. That hope isn't just a name. It's a choice, a fight, a promise kept. And sometimes, if you're brave enough to answer the door when it knocks, hope crawls into your life and changes everything. Forever.